Bro, our intro music is a vibe. Like, I'm just like
It's
jamming out to it. You know what I'm saying?
You did a good job. For sure.
You did, yeah.
For sure, maybe. For sure, not.
For sure.
That is not a memory I wanted to just give myself.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Black Tower Podcast. It's time for another episode, which means it's time for another dose of taint. And we hope that you're ready because it's going to be awesome tonight.
I mean, it's pretty awesome. Like 80% of the nights, at least. What are you putting in your... What is that? Oh, that was...
Zero vanilla.
It reminded me of, like, for whatever reason, one of the McCormick Spice, like, bottles. And I was like, what is he shaking into his drink?
Some
like, it's
tahini.
It's already spiced rum. What
tequila.
Well, speaking of what are you doing, we are the Black Tower Podcast. We're a Wheel of Time podcast, as most of you know or don't know. But if you didn't know, now you do. And if you already knew, well, now it's a reminder. I am your Bajan Mahal, Andrew. I'm the person that leads the battles. And for some reason, they let me hang around in the tower still. I don't know why.
And I am the Sorovan Mahal Josh, sporting my lovely new hoodie that I got from Spreadshirt at our merch store at blacktowerpod.com. Spreadshirt gives you the chance to customize. So on the back, I'm sorry, I'm plugging real quick because I'm in love with this hoodie. I love it so much. On the back, we got the BTP logo. And then that's how it comes from the store.
Don't you hate it when your hair covers your dragon?
Oh, yeah. That's usually what I do.
Oh, and it's the hood. Pull the hood up. Pull the hood up.
Ah, there you go. Now is it? Now. All right, cool. Yeah. That's how it normally comes. But then I was like, you know what? I need something extra because I'm extra. So I put my logo on there. And this logo is also on a bunch of our other stuff over there. So,
you know what I love? For a split moment there on YouTube only, our logo was on your side of the screen 4 times. So, in case you didn't know who we are, we'll blast our logo across the screen 4 separate times just to show you.
BTP.
But speaking of, if you want to go and check out the merch shop or you want to check out the Patreon so that you can come and listen live, we do let patrons listen live during live stream on YouTube. It's unlisted and unique to them. Sometimes on Discord, all that fun stuff. Head on over to blacktowerpod.com. You can find all of our stuff. It's got both of our merch stores, the Spreadshirt one, where you can now get the Sorovan Mahal and Bajan Mahal seals as merch on anything you want. We give you absolute permission. That's why we put it up there. So have fun with that. I'm actually now kind of terrified of the giving of permission to use the our namesake logos. There's also new creations by Jin where you can go and check out all the frosted mugs, which you will definitely need to check out after this weekend if you are at Wada Holiday, because if you didn't get the 8 mugs, that's where you go and you can get mugs of your own, including Black Tower Podcast and also Black Tower Podcast. So check those out, as well as there's links there for our Discord and all that fun stuff. And the fun thing that I think we always forget to mention about the website, the Dragon Sworn on Demand, which you think would mean that there's like more content creators on it. It's just us. It's just us. But you can go right to our website and watch our 5 most recent videos and listen to like the last 20 some odd podcast episodes. They're in embedded players down in the middle. So go and check it out. Run naked in the forums if your name is more shoddy and you want to do that again. All that kind of stuff. Don't actually post pictures like that. Like, don't. Because I know somebody will. Anyway, that was a terrible idea to give people. So that I stop giving people terrible ideas and we have people to give people fantastic ideas, what do you say we go ahead and pull in our guest for tonight's episode?
I think that's an excellent idea. Some of you may know them. We've invited...
Sorry, my beard was covering my dragon too.
Yeah, mine is as well, but it's not on camera.
I swear I'm an adult.
I'm not an adult.
They put me in charge of things. Why? I don't know, but
yeah, I was just gonna say, you should introduce yourself real quick because you got them fancy letters next to your title. And I think,
do. Yeah, I am Kathy Campbell, and I am the new CEO of Dragonmount. Yes, thank you.
all hail.
May she live forever.
Yes, please. I mean,
Good
no,
stuff.
we'll see. But yeah, dragonmount.com. Visit for all of your mounting dragon needs.
I thought that was baddragon.com.
That's
No,
that's
I don't
the
know what
practice
that's on.
mounting your dragon.
Yeah.
It's the Dragonmount After Dark special.
Yes.
And who is this man with the glorious face bush next to you?
This is my friend and yours, Thom. Thom
I'm one of her
is
minions.
the best. Like, I could not do this without him, for sure. Without
He
a
tells me
doubt.
to do things and I do them.
I know it. It's great, and you're reliable, and you do them, which is the best part.
Do you know that skill is more and more rare as time goes by?
Dude, it's so rare.
You're
It's
not lying.
It's a thing that it's rough when you sign
It's
up
sad.
when people do things and then they don't do them.
So you did sign up for this. You did want to be here, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-huh. Oh, you're not talking about tonight. You're talking about like metaphorically.
No, I'm in general. No, but these
Whichever one
are
lets
two
you give
lovely
the most
friends
positive
from.
response.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
That was it.
Oh, okay, cool. These are two lovely friends from Dragonmount. They are amazing, and we've invited them here because, as you know, at the Black Tower, we love talking about all things Wheel of Time and the books. I am proud and happy to say the books are the tip of the iceberg of what the Wheel of Time is for the world nowadays. Would you guys agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yes. And isn't that
it's so
amazing that we
amazing.
live in this world where there's more than just the books?
Yes.
Like, yes,
For
please.
so long, it was the books and the Dragonmount forums, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
I will never forget the day I found the Dragonmount forum for the first time. It was like 2002.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, there's like people who have actually read these books. I can talk to them online. But I was active duty at the time, and I like signed in and I made a couple of posts, and I was like so excited to start reading responses and getting involved. And then it was like we had like back-to-back exercises for like the next 6 months on base, and it was like 10-hour days, no days off, and it was just torturous and murderous. And then I deployed, and it's just like I could never keep up with the forums, and I could never like get in there. But somewhere in your archives, you have my chili recipe and my lemon chicken recipe. I'm just saying.
Fantastic.
It's in there.
And we have 25 years of archives, so it's got to be there somewhere.
It's got to be there somewhere. Maybe I'll go back and look and see if I can find my old name.
They're all on a server that's in Jason Denzel's.
Not anymore.
closet.
Thank you very much. I fought long and hard to get them out of his kid's bedroom. So you're welcome, Internet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a while, that's where the server that's where the Dragonmount servers were stored.
Yep.
Yeah, when we had him on for the very first time, like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I think it was. He showed us his fiber cables running along his walls to go back to his server. And I was like, that's my dream. I'm going to do that.
Well, we have some lightly used server boxes that I'm sure you could purchase if you're interested.
Oh,
I don't know.
give me
After
an
the
idea.
show.
Yeah. Look at me selling his stuff for you.
Yes.
I had a plan to do that. Like we had some old server boxes from my old unit that used to be the GBR system or the ground-based radar. So at a point we could actually use radar to track everything moving over a certain speed on the ground across the entire base. Which I'm sure many places still do, and that's not new tech. I mean, you can literally buy a fish finder and see everything under you in the water. So if somebody in the DoD wants to get mad about that, talk to my lawyer. Let me get one first and then talk to them.
There you go.
But I had this whole idea that I was gonna like pull those out, stick them in the closet in like the house where I used to live. Make a calm closet. It was going to have a patch panel, and it was going to have its own network switch and everything. It's going to be the greatest home media server. I made it as far as bringing them home and pulling out all of the like super old, antiquated, the big fat rib.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's as
Yeah.
far as I made it.
It probably is for good reasons to not go any further. Just saying.
Actually, funny enough, and Kathy, I haven't even told you about this yet.
Ooh.
I was talking to a mutual friend of ours, though, Travis. A friend of ours works for a cybersecurity company, and he's got a 64 CPU core and like 5,000 RAM server 5,000 gig RAM server that we were talking about playing games, and I was like, and he was like, I could host a game server for you if you ever want to host one, and I'm like, we should do one for Dragonmount. Maybe we'll host like a Valheim server or a Minecraft server or something like that. And he's like, yeah, just let me know when you want to do it. So that was like yesterday. So
learning about this live.
Yeah, there you go. I was like, we should do that. And then I was like, I should tell Kathy about that. And then I didn't.
Probably.
Yeah.
But thanks
Well,
for
you just did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling it online.
Yeah.
Speaking of this is actually. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I was only gonna say because I was busy today because I got to go and the EA offices, like their corporate offices, are in Orlando, and I'm in the beta testing, not beta testing, but game tester program. So I got invited to do some game testing today.
That's awesome.
Aren't you
nice.
fancy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Fancy Pants.
Fancy pants. Doing the fancy stuff that you can't talk about.
It was a game that involved a pigskin ball.
You know you can tell us because
Cool.
nobody watches this show. So
Definitely the next Skyrim game or GTA 6. This is the only game
that's right.
involved pigskin balls.
Yeah.
So it's actually cool that we're talking about technology because what we kind of wanted to do tonight on the show is it's kind of a catch up. It's kind of like a hey Dragonmount, how you guys doing? We're happy to hang out and talk to you. And one of the things I'd like to do is kind of ask you guys about your personal experiences with Dragonmount and the Wheel of Time community in general, and how you got started with Dragonmount. When, how, where, why, et cetera, all just the generic. I know it's like really powerful interview skills right now that I'm displaying.
Yeah, I'm so impressed. I'm taking notes for the next time I get an interview. Just
Next
like
time I
throwing
interview
it out
you.
there. Yeah.
Just what not to do. No, but Kathy, since I'm going to use the word new. I do not believe for one second that you just popped up out of thin air. But since you're sort of the new face of Dragonmount, do you want to go ahead and start and just kind of?
Yeah.
What's the tea? Give us the tea.
Oh, I've got so much tea that I can't even share. But so we'll go back to 2001 in January of 2001. When I finished reading the books. I was bored at college and was like, oh my gosh, I want to find other people to talk to. And I joined both Dragonmount and Tarpalon.net. And I was on Dragonmount a little bit, doing a little bit of the role play stuff. But I was mainly a Tarpalon.net early. That's where I found my husband. That's where I found my community. That's where I found this loser right here. But Dragonmount was always, kind of in my. I knew it existed. I knew it was there. I don't even remember whatever year Winter's Heart came out. I went to a signing in San Jose, California, and waited in the long line. Had my book ready to go. Asked the question. Something about balefire and gateways and what would happen if you open a gateway with that behind you and balefire yourself. And Gordon kind of looked at me for a moment and goes, young lady, in his, very southern, very grandfatherly voice, you need to go have an affair with a man, woman, or German Shepherd. It doesn't matter. Either way, you need to get a life. And I'm just
If you Google Robert Jordan German Shepherd, there are several articles about that.
yeah. Brandon Sanderson knew about it. Rafe knew about it. Like these people that I've spoken to, this is apparently, a thing. I want to let anybody that has also heard this and wondered about the person. I was totally fine with it. Like there were no lines crossed. I found it freaking hilarious. And I still do, obviously, because I'll continue to tell that story. But then when I asked Brandon Sanderson as I was a storm leader for Gathering Storm, which was the name of the helpers at each of the bookstores that signings happened at. And then you get to have a dinner. And I asked Brandon that same question. And he's like, hold on. And he pulled out this box out of a mailbox, like a mail package, because in his Seattle hotel, after the Seattle signing, he had received a package that he had ordered a while before, which was a read and find out card, a RAFO card. I received the very first RAFO card at that dinner. And I carry it with me everywhere. It's in my wallet right now. So that's my Wheel of Time kind of history. Let's see, 1 year at JordanCon, my very first year at JordanCon, actually. Jason had talked to people that were in my friends group saying that he needed a video editor because he wanted to start getting the content going. And they recommended me. And after that, I just kind of took over Dragonmount from the inside because Jason was ready to retire, but he needed somebody to trust. We talked a little bit about, having somebody reliable to do things
within the belly of the beast.
And so eventually it came to the point where he was ready to fully retire and concentrate on his writing. And I was like, ooh, pick me. And he did. And here we go.
Love it. Awesome. I love it. Just so you guys know, Carrie in the chat is one of our first-time readers. She is currently in Lord of Chaos.
Ooh.
Yes.
Exciting.
So, yes.
Yeah, so you definitely get a lot of Raffos.
She does.
I'm always amazed by the bravery of the first-time readers that hang out in our Discord and just around us, because it's like we are categorically full spoiler, except for a handful of episodes, like this one for the most part, at least.
Yeah,
if you're gonna say something spoilery from the books now, beyond Lord of Chaos, at least.
Yeah.
It's cute that you think what I would know what part of a spoiler if it's after Lord of Chaos or not.
That's book 6, right? Lord of Chaos.
Yes.
I have to turn around and count the books on the shelf behind me.
Yeah, I'm terrible. It all blends together.
Book. Come on, Tom.
Yeah, it's book 6.
Is it is it the 3D square situation?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Okay.
Okay. Thank you. I don't know what are we talking about?
So Shadow
stuff things.
Yeah, Shadow
stuff and things.
Yeah. Have an Order Chaos. All right. I'm just going through the Rolodex of things in my head to put the stopper on things. I'm good.
Ba-ding!
I'm good.
All right, Tom. How about you, sir?
Who are you?
Who am
Give
I?
us your tea.
It's a good movie. I want to watch that now. Jackie Chan, great movie.
Yeah. Jackie Chan's amazing.
So I mean, my journey started off a lot like Kathy's in the sense of I joined Dragonmount way back in the day, and then Tarvalon.net, and But that was actually after my. So all right, my wife and I went to the first JordanCon 1, and I had been on Dragonmount before that because it was like the only Wheel of Time site that I knew about. And then at JordanCon, we knew nobody. We knew 0 people. And actually, I don't know if I've ever said this live before, but you know what? I don't care if Brandon hears it now. I think he'd think it's funny now at this point because he's written it. So my wife and I had been dating for like 6 months, and we went to this convention, and my wife and I are sitting. It's our first convention we've ever been to, so we're sitting in the. We were not married at this point, obviously, and we were sitting in the audience, and we were like, I can't believe we drove to Georgia from New York to go to this nerd convention, and then we were like sitting there, and we were like, at least we're not as big of a nerd as that guy is. And then we're sitting there for like 10 minutes, and they had handed out Mistborn Book 1 as like door thing. And I was like flipping through the book, and on the inside back cover is Brandon's picture. And I was like, oh, that's Brandon Sanderson. Whoops. Because he was like in his baby Brandon outfits.
Yes.
Kathy still like, so he was wearing like the checkered button-up shirt with like a nerd shirt underneath.
Yeah.
And you know, and he had like his just parted hair that was like short. It was like right there.
Oh wow,
dude!
Yeah, and his big thick frame glasses. So I was like, you know, at least we're not as nerdy as him. And then I was like, oh, that's Brandon. He's finishing the series, right? Okay. But
cool.
Yeah,
no big deal.
Yeah. Then we made friends with Jen and Jimmy Liang because we were volunteers number 1 and number 2. I'm number 2. Because we helped clean up after. We helped clean up after the opening ceremonies, and then 2 years later, we had gone to both JordanCons, but they were doing the Tower Guard because Towers of Midnight was coming out. So I was a Tower Guard where Kathy was a Storm Leader for Gathering Storm, and except mine was in Manhattan at the Barnes and Noble in Times Square. So that was kind of crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah,
like,
and I was the person like in charge or whatever, like the one that they put at the head of the thing. I don't know. It was the people that were in charge were the tour people that were there, but like I had to like organize all of the people in the line, and there was like 2,700 people at that one or something like that. It was just under 3,000 people.
Wow.
And it was kind of crazy, but that was where I met Brandon for the first time. And surprisingly enough, he remembered me through like going to all the JordanCons. I mean, I picked him up from the airport a bunch of times.
Yeah, I would hope that he would remember you from that. At least.
Yeah.
Like,
you are quite memorable, sir.
That's also true. I mean, said in a moment with 3 white dudes with very large beards.
Yeah. It's just don't worry, that's not lost.
You're the driver.
Yeah.
What is my driver doing here?
This is my driver, Tom.
I used to be like 400 pounds, and then I lost a bunch of weight, and he didn't come to JordanCon for like 2 years, so I had lost a bunch of weight in those 2 years. And when I picked him up from the airport, he didn't recognize me, so like he didn't say anything. He was just like, "Oh, hi, okay, thank you," and I brought him to JordanCon. And then at the end of the con, he was like, "I have to apologize to you," and I'm like, "What? Why?" He's like, "Because I didn't recognize you." He's like, "When I wrote your." I have a character in the last book, Bayard. It's the prologue of A Memory Light. So he's like,
for the record, our stories are similar, except I don't have a character in the books, which, you know, it's fine. I'm fine.
It's okay, Kathy. I don't have a character in the books either.
14-page point of view. Excuse me. I just had something in my throat.
Wait, but what about the I was gonna make a joke, and now my brain was like, "No, you can't have the word. How dare you make fun of Tom?"
Yeah, yeah. Don't
the
make
companion.
fun of Tom.
Oh yeah, they did kill me in the companion. They did. I got eaten by a Trolloc at the end of the last battle in the companion. That's his entry. It is a nice size entry though. It's like a paragraph.
The finest meal that Trolloc ever ate.
It's true. I hope he choked on my beard. But he was like, when I write characters, especially when they're based off real people, he's like, I have the vision of you in my head, and he's like, I just have to edit it now so that you look like now. But then I worked at Jordan Con for I technically I guess I'm still staff because I help out with communications and Jenna with HR stuff. But like I did guest services for like 13 years, and then I've been staff since the second one. But what was it now? Like 3 years ago, 4 years? How many years have we been doing the content creation?
5
5
years? No, 4. I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Well,
Who
Kathy and
what
Jason
are-
came to me and were like, "Hey, we want to start doing this content creation thing, and you and Kitty and Ebony were the people that we thought of. So,
So this is scary. I just looked and I made the. Oh wait, no, that's Jordan Con. Okay, never mind. That's a little bit more. Okay, hold on.
that's older.
Yeah, it was much older. Okay, but still very So apparently September of 2019 is when I made the Dragonmount folder. So
On Google folders.
no, not in Google folder, like on my personal computer.
Oh, okay.
Like, so that's the first instance of anything Dragonmount on my computer. 2019.
One of our first things that we did too was I was reviewing books in the beginning as Balsamon, which was fun. I had a Balsamon costume, and I printed out pieces of paper that had fire on them and stapled them to the mask that I wore.
Yeah,
I
it
love
was pretty epic.
It was something.
So I gotta ask this, and this question is actually for Kathy, Tom, and Andrew.
Ooh.
Because hold on, it's going to make sense here in a second. Because it seems like there was something in the water 5 years ago, and like all these shows and all these people were like, Wheel of Time content creation, let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is when Andrew and Aaron started the show, and at the time it was you had organized to do a show with Tarvalon.net, Daniel B. Green, Kate and Michael, and just all these people
over the course, and we had Tavir and Tease.
Yeah, and there was just all this, and it's just like it was. And back in the day, and I say back in the day, like 5 years ago, but for Wheel of Time years back in the day, like there was nothing back.
Well,
then.
So I mean, 5 years ago is when the show news started picking up. And that's why.
That's true.
Because there, that made it a refreshed kind of, not market necessarily, but like it was a new world to like, oh, we can talk to other people that will understand the Wheel of Time. Yeah. And, as someone who my kid's birth name was Avienda, like having to explain what the Wheel of Time was and why we picked the name and all of that, like living in this world now where people know this more easily. And when I'm like, oh yeah, I just got back from Prague where, they filmed the Wheel of Time, and they're like, what? I know that. I just finished watching the show. And it's like, yeah, it's good, huh? Yeah.
Shameful as it is to say, it's like the one reason I want to have a daughter.
You want to name them Avienda too?
I'm going to recommend that you figure out some other reasons you want to have.
I'm working on
throwing
that.
Out there. Okay.
That's at least the number one reason.
Okay.
Right
okay.
It'll probably drop a couple.
Acceptable. Yeah.
You got to give props to Twatcast though. They've been around for like, I don't even know.
Forever.
14, 15 years.
I have said this before, and I'll say it again. They are the OGs when it comes to Wheel of Time content creation. They have been podcasting about the Wheel of Time. I mean, when you get a guy on who says that, who can legitimately make the joke that our podcast is old enough to drive.
Mm-hmm.
True.
I mean, thanks to the online communities, a lot of my friendships are old enough to drink.
Yep.
Right?
Like that's, I mean, Tom, we've known each other for 21 years at
yeah.
least.
Yeah. I mean, and how about the reason why I'm in? So I said I went to that EA program today for the tester thing. The reason I'm in that program is because of another mutual friend of ours that we know from Tarvalons.net. Her name's Karen. She's a big shot at EA. I forgot what her position is. She used to be in charge of like EA Sports marketing or something like that, I think. But now she's even bigger than that. It's not just EA Sports, it's all of EA now. So, but that's how I got in that. Like and we've been friends with so many people. Like most of the people at my wedding were from Tarvalons.net and Dragonmount and
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a small world. And it's getting bigger and I love it.
I will say that is one of the things that I've absolutely loved about, getting involved with, the Black Tower podcast. And a few years ago, Andrew and I, we attended Jordan Con for the first time, and it was like, wow, this is a whole new level. Yeah. For me, and Andrew, you tell me if it's any different for you, but I think it's the same. But for me, that first time we went to Jordan Con, which was only like 2 or 3 years ago, that was the first time that I had ever been in a room with more than 2 Wheel of Time readers. And it was intimidating.
It's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, so my first Tower event was in 2001, that fall. And I was
fall ball.
Yep. I was a baby back then, I was 2. I was not 2. But the thought of, oh yeah, I just went to hang out with friends that I met on the internet.
Yeah.
Now it's way more normal, but back then, I had to take my little brother with me for my parents to let me go. Okay. I was home from college and because it was in Portland. It was great. I could just, drive there and visit, and it made sense. But yeah, it's
isn't it funny the generation of parents that told us not to believe everything we see on the internet believes everything they see on the internet now.
Now they believe everything they see.
We're not talking politics.
That's right.
We just survived Thanksgiving.
There's only one politics that matters, and it is that the Black Tower rules. Okay.
It's all right. The politics between the Black and White Tower.
There we go.
That is probably the most interesting story of the Fourth Age. I'm sorry. That there are 2 stories in the Fourth Age that matter. Yeah. The politics between the Black Tower and the White Tower, and the Shan-Chan being as much of a pain in the ass as they can possibly be.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you guys about? I know Kathy knows this, but did I ever tell you guys about the? So they were originally going to write 3 Outrigger novels for, there was New Spring, and then there were supposed to be 2 more. At the first Jordan Con, Tom Doherty, the president of Tor Books, was there, and he accidentally let slip what the other one was about. One was about Tam, everyone knows that. Yeah. The other one, he said, so at the time, which was 2007? Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah, 2007. So yeah. This is pre Towers of Midnight, obviously. The most recent book is Knife of Dreams? Yeah, Knife of Dreams. So he said, I forgot. They did a Q&A after the opening ceremonies, which was awesome, by the way. They did the prologue of Towers of Midnight of the guy in the cart with the skies.
Yeah.
Robert Jordan was like spitballing his ideas for that. Essentially, he wasn't reading the prologue. It was him. They had a recording of him talking
Talking it
about what
through.
he wanted the prologue to be, and it was that.
That's
So they played
cool.
And then after that, they did like a Q&A kind of thing. It wasn't like a hard and fast thing. It was just kind of like off the cuff, and you could tell because of what happened. So someone asked about someone asked about the Outrigger novels, and Maria and Harriet were very quick to say, like, that they weren't going to do them now. And Tom Doherty jumped in and was like, well, there was a contract though for the one with, he said, and this was the first time we heard of it, which was Tam joining the Aliener Companions, and then he said, and Matt and Tuon returning to the Shanshan after the last battle, and everyone was like, Brandon, Harriet, Maria, they were all like, and everyone was just like,
not supposed to say that.
Everybody's like,
yeah. And
someone give him the red light.
Yeah, and then he's never been back to Jordan Con since. But no, that's not one.
Oh,
he's just old. So, but it was that was funny. So yeah, that happened at the first Jordan Con, which was pretty interesting.
that was the year I started even really doing stuff online.
2007.
Like just being online, period. Like 2007 was the year I started doing text-based roleplay on a little site called GaiaOnline.com.
Nice.
Okay.
Yes.
So
You were
nerd.
You were
Absolute
crawling around.
nerd.
You were
I was-
crawling
I
around in
was
the
watching-
muds.
Oh, dude, oh God, mud.
Watmud has been up for like, I think almost as long as Dragonmount. It's like 24
Wait.
or 23 years.
Yeah.
Is Watmud still alive?
Yeah, it's still up. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's still up and running. There's a ton of people on it too. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
No, I was the anime nerd. I was finding like guilds and forums that were all based on Naruto and making characters and fighting people.
I feel old.
It's shameful because I went back not too long ago. I still have my account. on Gaia
Nice.
Online, and I do sign in every once in a while. Which is funny because later on I realized that I definitely met somebody on Gaia and had no idea because I found a military one that was based around like Air Force or whatever. And there was a guy that was in it that we always interacted with, and his username was Landfear. I didn't know what Landfear was at the time. And then I started
Oh
reading the
my
books, and I got
gosh.
to the point where you meet Landfear, and I was like,
Wait a second.
and I was like, do you like the Wheel of Time? And he was just like, it's my favorite series ever. Why do you ask? And I'm like, I'm reading it. I know your name.
Well,
Dude, I have a similar experience. So I played EVE Online for years. And we had a player from the UK who his username was Manetherin. His logo was a red eagle, but it never registered with me because we always called him Mane, M-A-N-E, the first one.
Okay.
Because you don't say, what's up, Manetherin? How you doing today? You go, what's up, Mane? How's it going?
Yeah.
And it never, until years later, years after I stopped playing the game, and I'm doing this podcast, I'm like, oh my God.
Wait a second.
And the bad thing is we got really
Manetherin,
mad
you
at him
son of a
because he got
bitch.
one of our capital ships blown up. We got real mad at him. And I was like, I probably would have been nicer to him if I knew he was a Wheel of Time fan.
Not if he got
Instead of-
your chips blown up.
I mean,
Instead of
it was a
yelling at
capital
him-
ship. It took the
Instead of
corporation.
yelling at him, you
like,
would've
EVE
wept-
Online
would've
is
wept for him.
Cat. I don't know if you know. Do you know about EVE Online?
No, I don't.
There are some
woo!
crazy stories about that fucking game.
I'm good.
It took
Oh,
like 20
gosh.
people a full month of developing skills to build this ship. And he took it out for a test run because he was going to be our pilot. And he blew up the ship.
Oh my gosh.
There have been real world murders over that game.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
They did an analysis, like an economic analysis, and the largest battle in the game cost the players who were doing it like several $1,000s in odds. and things. It was
Tens of.
crazy.
That's,
Crazy.
wow.
There was a guy that ran a bank like just a person.
Yeah.
There wasn't a real bank. He just was like a guy that had an account, and the major guilds would give him all their money. And then
my
and he had
gosh.
trillions and trillions of in-game credits like stored for all of the major guilds in the world. And then one day he was like, "Thanks." That was a huge
Man,
battle too.
that's
And I've never
people
even
are
played that game,
special.
and I know about all these stories.
Yeah,
It was so
clearly.
much fun.
The internet, man. It's
Yeah.
pretty great.
My first RPG character was also named Bayard, so I just had the name forever.
That's awesome.
But it was IRC RPG back in like the 90s. So
Oh, dude, IRC.
because I'm old apparently.
I love the throwbacks here, because when I start saying, oh yeah, you play MUDs, and like everybody here is like, oh yeah, I can see some of the kids listening now being like,
What's a mud?
Yeah.
you play in MUD? Like what?
Is this what Pappy meant about playing outside after the rain?
Kids, you guys don't understand what a dial-up internet connection is like.
Man.
And a MUD is the first iteration of an MMORPG.
Yep.
Yeah.
And still somehow superior to most MMORPGs.
I can remember writing posts that were anywhere from 2 to, I think my longest one ever was 7,000 words
Gosh.
for this game. Playing a Naruto character. And
Damn.
then going to school, getting assigned a paper that had to be like at least 800 words and just moaning about it. How I don't want to write an 800-word paper. Meanwhile, I just cranked out. Yeah. And then meanwhile, I crank out like 3 posts that are like 2,000 to 4,000 words on average. Like this was like 2011 after I got a lot better at it. Because my first year was definitely the asterisk does action asterisk, and it's horrible. Horrible.
I actually wrote a whole setting for a Wheel of Time RPG. That was 4th Age and had a lot to do with the Black Tower and the White Tower. I set it in like a Wild West setting, and the Black Tower and the Ashaman functioned as like the U.S. Marshals, and they policed them, and the Red Aja policed like one power crime. Like, so if there was, like,
I love everything you're saying right now.
That's amazing.
The groups of people that played were posses. So, if like they didn't want to be an Ashaman or a Red Aja, we would, someone else would play their Ashaman or Red Aja. They were like the U.S. Marshal, and then they would put their posse together. So, there'd be like an Ogier and an Aiel Siswayaman and whatever. Yeah, it was fun.
So one of the things that I've always surmised is that the Black Tower is the loose cannon of the 4th Age. Because politically speaking, they are not covered under the Dragon's Peace. They are not represented in the Dragon's Peace.
Well, and I think
Careful.
There's also something to be said.
I'm not going to go into too much detail.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kari heard it,
right.
because she did say that her internet had stopped working.
Okay, good. Well, I'm gonna stop talking. But
yeah, I don't want to.
I have
spoil
some
too much
thoughts, but we're not gonna discuss them.
Yeah.
It's fine. We can. We just got to say, hey, there's a spoiler
we
warning.
just got to give the spoiler warning out there.
No,
Maybe,
I want Kari to stay. We could talk about it later. We'll have a whole. That's a panel for another time.
Yeah.
You know what? That'll be a panel. I love it.
There you go. The WatCon 4th Age panel, 2024.
Let's do it. Let's go. Andrew and I are riding our motorcycles to WatCon.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
Maybe I'll get to stay for longer than 24 hours this year.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that.
Seriously.
Though I did have
one of the
the last 2 years.
I got to have like a fantastic night with these two guys, staying up until like 4 o'clock in the morning, singing Irish tunes and drinking songs in the lobby.
Well, the good news is if you do decide to, catch COVID again, we'll at least have another, potentially, probably, most likely have another Dragonmount person to pick up the slack as needed. So
whoever they are, don't let them like anywhere near my room, because I caught COVID the first year at WatCon, the very first year.
Oh yeah, and then I
Yeah,
almost
it's
poisoned him the
almost
second
like-
year.
Oh my
Think
God.
about
god.
it the
I'm staying
second
with him.
year.
Andrew,
So-
Andrew's cursed. So he's director of
Oh, yeah.
people as the organization of WhatCon. Were you about to say that? You know what? I'll let you tell your story, sir.
Oh no, I wasn't actually going to go into the story.
Oh,
You have all the.
well, I was just
outside
going to
perspective.
say he is director of people at WhatCon, and he's amazing at it. He does a fantastic job.
He's like those
And
aircraft ones and
every
just marshal
single
people around.
year, I say every single year like it's been like 10. It's like 2 years now.
I mean, it's not incorrect.
We get to the very final day, and Nabliss, who is noble and just the kindest person you'll ever meet, he's amazing. He gets his directors up there and says, "Hey, thank you for all your hard work." And the last couple of years, Andrew, director of people, Andrew,
Andrew.
Andrew's sick. He can't make it.
The first year, I was there for Friday. I was I was stuck in the room Saturday and Sunday, which super sucked because Friday I had a panel with Maria, and then
Ugh.
Saturday I was supposed to have another one with Maria, and I felt really good about the second one because the first one was like ideas about what would happen in the Fourth Age, and I went with basically I went with like nuclear war or whatever. And Maria didn't immediately look at me and go, "You're a moron." So I counted as an actual success. Not that she ever was. She's far too sweet, but
Yeah. No. Oh no. She would absolutely call you a moron.
in the kindest way.
Oh yeah. With
With
sheer
love. You feel
amount
warm.
of love. But
Yeah.
yes, if that was a dumb idea, she would call you a moron.
She would like
Yeah, I didn't
pat
make
you
that
on
one.
the arm and be like,
Good
You're a
job,
moron.
honey.
Here's the first part of the 14 points right off the top of my head as to why you're not just wrong, you're stupid too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I
Um,
mean, and you know if it comes from her, it's right because even Brandon, even when Brandon was deep in Wheel of Time, like writing it, he would Maria like not only would he Raffo people, he would sometimes Matho people where he would Maria and find out.
Yeah.
"Yes."
Yeah.
So
We have a very great interview with Maria on the Dragonmount YouTube if you want to go check that out. I'm sure.
Oh, is that the one with Kitty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At JordanCon. Yeah.
I should go and check it out.
Yes, it's very
Yeah.
good.
It is good.
Dragonmount.com, their website link is in the description below.
Yay!
literally right at the top is-
YouTube.com/Dragonmount, I think, as well. Or however /users
Sounds right.
/Dragonmount or whatever.
I think it's like
Just
all
look
of
up
the
Dragon
above.
Mount on YouTube. You'll find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe in everybody.
But and then so last year when Tom was there, I got to attend Friday, I got to attend Saturday, and then was sick Sunday. So I'm hoping third year's the charm, and I actually get to be there all 3 days. Well, enjoy it all 3 days. I mean, I've enjoyed the days I was there, especially considering the announcement of Guy Roberts being
I
at
know.
WatCon this year.
Yeah,
be
it's so
great.
exciting. I love Guy so much. I can't
Guy
wait to
is the
actually get to meet him in
best.
person.
It was so hard to because I didn't even say anything to you, Josh.
No, you
It was
did
so
not.
hard not to say anything because I'm watching the director chat, and like that had been a topic of conversation that was trying to happen for at least a month or two, if not longer.
Well-
that I knew that it was happening. That I actually read the message. Because sometimes you click read and you're like, okay,
Well,
move on.
Yeah.
It's not me.
And,
Move on.
and we've reached out to him directly and been like, "Hey, man, can we get you on the show?" And he's like, and I will say, this is my flex. This is like I'm feeling very small compared to these giants before me here.
Are you calling me
But,
fat?
No, I'm saying your heart is thick. No, but we sent
Hey, I don't
him a
know. I don't know when
message.
the last time you saw Kathy in person was, but she's also like an Amazon. She's very tall.
Yes, I'm 6 foot.
It's true. She'll kick your ass.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, maybe not.
Listen,
Depending.
There will be a valiant.
don't try and distract me right
Our
now.
battle will be
Okay.
legendary.
Continue your story. Your big flex.
I forgot what I was
Flex.
saying.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
the
flex
flex
Guy
was
Roberts.
that Guy Roberts actually replied to us and was like, Amazon
Yeah,
needs
you got to
give
talk to
permission
Amazon.
for that. And then we were like, cool. Like, we appreciate it. We thought that might be the case, but cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
He's got to put
Um,
everything through them.
Yep.
Which, yeah, and now that he's a hero of the Horn, maybe he has,
So awesome.
maybe he can do whatever he wants.
It's
No,
true.
he can't.
No, he can't. That's
No.
true.
As somebody who is communicating with Amazon currently to try and get him to have a conversation, yes, you have to. It's
No matter
great.
what he
So-
wants,
yeah.
he has to go through Amazon.
Yep.
Right. So we've talked about your sort of origins, and we've talked about kind of where you guys are. Is there anything Dragonmount is working on?
Oh,
Looking
lots of
forward to the
things.
future. Any direction you guys want to like let the people know? Any plugs? Any
I follow
self-plugs you want
Kathy's
to put out
direction.
there?
Yeah. Well, yes, because Tom doesn't know this yet either. But as we were saying,
She's getting revenge on you, Tom, for what you did to her earlier.
As we were starting this lovely conversation, I got an email from somebody at Amazon, and so stay tuned for a very interesting audio commentary communication with somebody that y'all may know.
Ooh.
So for anybody
Check
who
December
didn't-
18th on our socials is the embargo date. So
go to Dragonmount on all their socials.
All
Just
of the
don't
things.
miss this. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
Which
and
Dragonmount email did they
while
send it
you're-
to?
while you're waiting, you can hang out and listen to, all of the videos we have on YouTube, including Tom made 2 videos for every single TV show episode, which like mad props, like that was a hardcore. Gotta get it done. And
I'm gonna
got
go
them
back and
edited.
do season 1 for I can't do first time reaction videos,
No,
but I'm
but
gonna
you
do
could
deep
do-
dive videos.
I love
for
that.
season 1
Yes,
as well.
yes, do it, rock it, make it happen.
Seal of approval.
But we also have some really great interviews with Rafe. Talked with I don't know. Do you know Daniel Henney, Madeline Madden,
Sounds
Kira
familiar.
Covey?
Rami,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know who any of those people
Ahmed.
are, but
Hamed.
cool, I guess.
Kate
Kate
Fleetwood,
Fleetwood.
goddess, who called me
That one we
pretty.
can say yes to. There's one.
Yeah,
We can say yes to.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
we
so
had
glad you got
Kate.
to talk to Kat.
We
Oh, I
had,
love
Kate.
Kate was the
Oh,
best.
is-
Kate was
is she
so
not, like,
amazing.
she's
The
so
sweetest
great.
person you've ever met.
She's
Like,
so kind. Like, very first question I had for her was, "How dare you make me fall in love with you as a character?"
yes,
Like, why did you hurt me so much?
we
Why?
said the same thing.
Yeah,
We said
I'm
the
sure
same thing.
Everybody did.
So hard
And-
to
and-
hate Leandrin now.
I mean, it's not that hard,
Yeah,
but also it is. Like,
she's
it-
so badass. Even when she does things that are horrible, it's like
Yes,
then she turns back at the camera and smirks, and I'm like,
right. And
yeah.
I will say the show is doing that marvelously. They're
I am so impressed.
villaining people.
Dude,
amazingly.
that was always something about the books that I not necessarily was disappointed in, because of course when I first read them, whatnot, but like looking back now, a lot of the villains are very one-dimensional. They're very much like, oh yeah, these are evil. They're evil, capital E evil, whatnot.
And we just accept it because there are good guys and there are bad guys.
Right, like that black and white, female, male, side R, side in, all white tower, black tower, like all of that stuff is it's very on brand for the story. But the fact that we've got such a deep passionate love for these characters,
Yes.
the care that's taken to write, like, it just, oh my gosh, it makes me so happy that like this is a lot of people's introduction to this world and to these characters. And then when they go and read the books, they're like, oh, okay, yes, I get it. And you get to learn more, but also different. Like it just is, it makes me so excited. I'm so excited. I love it.
honestly,
I
one
will
of the
say that.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say with regards to Kate Fleetwood with the interview there, obviously I'm proud of the interview. I love it. And I'm still in awe to this day that we got to do that. But one of the things I love most was kind of the bit of information that we got from her that was when she in the episode approaches Nynaeve and says, "It's Nynaeve, isn't it? I didn't catch your name." And we asked her, we were like, okay, so name pronunciation is a thing in the community. Like, we joke about that's not how you say it, you know,
Right.
Mogedian, Mugidine, Magadine. Like, we have fun with that. Were you aware of that? And she said, actually, no, I had no idea that was a thing. But I just figured that someone like Leandrin would be sort of arrogant enough to just come up and just say it however they think they would say it.
Like purposefully,
On
not
purpose.
correctly. Because she
Yes.
doesn't even have the excuse of reading it first.
You're not
And
important
I
enough
was-
for me to know your name.
Yeah.
I was so impressed that her understanding of the story and understanding of sort of the energy of the books, and she just nailed it.
Oh,
just
100%.
She
Absolutely.
is so smart, so smart in her portrayal
Yeah.
of that. And
Everyone is just absolute. Like, the casting in this show is just flawless.
Even
Absolutely
people
flawless.
that don't like the show admit that the casting and the costuming and the acting
Oh my God.
are fantastic.
Yeah.
Tom from Twatcast hates the show, but he even talks about how he loves
the one thing he likes.
Yes.
The casting is
Yeah.
fantastic. The acting is very good. And you know, the set design is great, but he does, you know, he's just not a fan of the changes, which, you know, is fine.
We actually did an episode with Twatcast a couple weeks back, and it was the things that we did not like about the show.
Yeah.
And Tom was very free with his opinions. It was great.
Yeah.
But through it all, I loved that even in that sort of like a constructive criticism environment, it was actually constructive. He did bring receipts. He brought reasons for why. And it wasn't just, you know, everybody in the Two Rivers is white.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
It's funny because we get a lot of, I'm not going to say hate necessarily, but we get a lot of comments about, like, you know, we're Amazon shills because we keep like talking like it up. Like, we are really impressed with it. Like, we enjoy the show.
Right.
And
Right.
it's like, yes, because we can look at this and have these constructive criticisms and not like a part of it and not enjoy, like, feel like something's off or something's wrong, or like we didn't like this scene or this interaction or like whatever,
Right.
and still appreciate the art that's created as a whole. And this show is beautiful, but not just beautiful, it's like substantial. Like, it has a depth to it that, you know, its cohort in streaming the Lord of the Rings show did not have. And like, there's all of this inbuilt plot and story and community. Like, it makes sense on why, like, it got greenlit, but then the people making it also know and understand the show.
Yeah.
They understand the community. They know what they're trying to make, and they will fight against the producers as much as possible. But the truth of the matter is, of course, it takes a million different people to make a thing, and people have decisions. And so nothing makes me more angry than somebody saying, you know, Ray fucked it up. And it's like,
the one that I hate the most is you're you know, what's the word that everybody use? You're pissing on the legacy of Robert Jordan.
Oh, gosh.
Like,
Robert Jordan would be twirling in his grave. No, dude. He would be enjoying the money. But not only that, he would be absolutely enjoying the people discussing and being a part of the thing. And that's something that Maria and Harriet both have discussed, is they think that he like would be enjoying it for what it is. Not necessarily like turning around and being like, oh my gosh, They
No.
ruined everything.
No.
Oh my god.
One, he's smart enough not to do that.
Right.
Like
Right.
he's
And
smart
definitely
enough
wouldn't do it publicly. Like anything
No.
that he had a problem with wouldn't be public.
Yeah, and like not that like we're personal friends with Harriet and Maria, but like I've known Harriet and so is Kathy, but like we've known Harriet and Maria for like 14 years at this point.
Yeah.
Through JordanCon and Tarvalon.net. They used to attend a lot of the Tarvalon.net stuff, and Harriet came every year to JordanCon up until COVID. And now she's just getting up there in age, and
It's also
It's
the
hard to
first year
tell.
that we attended, which is, I'm going to say, coincidence.
it's not your guys'
Well,
fault.
It's
Not my
Um,
fault.
Dude, don't tell them that, Tom. It's absolutely their fault.
Okay, it's your fault.
Sorry, Jordan
but
Kahn.
I've never heard them say a bad word about the show. And Harriet, and we had Harriet and Maria both on the marathon that we did of the rewatch of season 1 just before season 2 came out, and they talked about how much they enjoyed seeing the sets and the actors playing the characters, and all of the things they liked about the show. And Harriet and Maria, I don't want to say were just as involved in the creation of the Wheel of Time as Robert Jordan was, because that's obviously not true, but
They definitely have significant pieces of the story.
Oh yeah, I mean Harriet was the head editor, the lead editor on all of the books. She discovered
Maria was the
Robert
brain.
Jordan. Yeah. And then Maria was the right hand, like from book 3 on. She was the right hand of the creator from book 3 on. So,
I mean, all of this to say that, again, and I reiterate my initial point, is that the books that we have is the tip of the iceberg.
yes.
It is so amazing, and yes, they are large books. There are a lot of material there,
Yes.
which is why people like Twatcast can have a podcast about it for
15.
2 decades now, ish, and which is why places like Dragonmount have existed for 2 decades ish, and it
25 years. Yeah, a quarter of a
25
century.
years,
A quarter
of
of
a century.
September was the 25th anniversary.
It's
Dragonmount can rent a car.
Yeah, it's true. It's a testament to Robert Jordan's writing as well, though, because forget about the TV show for a minute. Like even just the story that he wrote within the books even though it's over and it's done, there are plenty of things there that you can talk about forever.
Many things. Like it is so deeply deep, like it's deep. That's what she said.
I was just thinking that.
I know. I have a friend that just finished a week ago, just finished the audiobooks. He's like a repairman for IC and is always in the car, and he's just like, I had to immediately start listening again because now there's all of this foreshadowing. And it's like, yeah, can you imagine like not having the books published yet, and you have 3 to 5 years in between to sit and like peel apart every line in these hundreds of thousands of words. Like this, it's a time that I will see it into other pieces and other fandoms, and I'm just like, I get you, I understand you, and it's so exciting that we get to do this again with series, with the show. We get to be
surprised,
excited and surprised about Wheel of Time in ways that make sense. Because too, like there's a lot of people that will complain about, specific plot points, or like, why did they do this? Or where's Camelin? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, you don't understand. Rafe and his team were able to look at all 14 and a half books and see the end goal in a way that there is no way Robert Jordan knew. There is no way. If he could have gone back and rewritten the whole thing to like get to that end point, he probably would have. Like, because you start writing the first book and you're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a trilogy.
Yeah.
Write the second one.
JK, it's gonna be
And,
like
okay,
5
it's gonna be
books.
like 4. Okay, maybe
JK.
5. Hey,
Yeah.
can I have 6? Like you can't know everything that you are gonna have at the end in that beginning. Like it's impossible to have the growth of these characters. And so having Matt Cawthon's parents be not great parents, because you look at the series, every single character has good parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
it's
anyone
great.
who's played D&D knows that those people don't go adventuring.
No,
I-
right? Like there's no reason for them to go out. Like if they're alive, they are good parents. They may be, strict, or they might care too much, or like whatever. Or you might have a dead parent, for some plot points, like Rand. Like, but otherwise, every single parent is good, and that's just not realistic. But also, this allows for these character developments without having internal monologue. Because again, you don't know what Matt's thinking in these parts, but because you can see his parents and how they were acting and trading, and he's taking care of the kids. Here's, 2 minutes of character development that took 4 or 5 books to realize.
Yeah.
Giving Perrin a wife, I will stand by, one of the best choices, except for the fact that you give him a wife to then kill her, not fridging, but you have this character to actually give why Perrin is the way that he is with Fael.
Yeah.
Because otherwise that's why people hate her, because they don't understand. Like, here she comes out of nowhere and she's just like, blah, 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 and Perrin's like, I'm gonna protect you and I can't, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were able to do what Robert Jordan took 5 books to do with Perrin, which was build his back and forth with violence and the hammer and the axe, and his overprotectiveness to sometimes like to a toxic degree with Fael.
Oh, absolutely toxic. Absolutely. Especially for like, listen to your partner.
Yeah.
I don't know. Silly thought there.
We could have fun
they
with
were
that
able to
conversation.
explain that.
We could have fun with that conversation.
They were able to do it in a 20-second scene. Like that's to be able to tell to flesh out a character's backstory that quickly, especially on a show where we only have 8 episodes and they're only an hour long, 52 minutes long, about.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal.
Well,
and I
and
get
even in season 2, there's no intro sequence.
Yeah. So you get those extra 4 to 6 minutes.
That is indicative of the fact that Rafe goes, yeah, we need more time. The studio's not going to give it to us. Cool. Guess what we're going to do? Wheel of Time. Shut
up.
Except for the last one to make a moment. I'm hoping that season 4 gets announced and that there's going to be 10 episodes. Like, that would be chef's kiss. Fingers crossed. Let it be so. Who knows? I don't know. Like, legit, no secret knowledge over here, but I'm hoping.
Right. Well, I want to say thank you so much, both to you, Kathy, and to you, Thom. We love you guys so much. We've loved our friendship. Oh my gosh!
Ooh, it merged from his
I can't.
That's that's a secret move. That's a Black Tower weave.
Oh yeah. Nice.
But we want to say thank you to you guys. We do appreciate having you guys here. We always love having Dragonmount visit the Black Tower. And just before we wrap this up, just tell the people again where they can find you.
Yeah.
Just to remind them, because they were so enthralled and so ensnared with the conversation that they absolutely forgot.
I'm sure. Before we do that, though, do you guys want to see something really cool?
Always.
So this
yes
is the book, but mine's extra special. Want to see why?
Why is yours extra special?
Oh,
What?
Ah, super jealous.
Artigrain right there.
Oh my god!
So just throwing that out there.
I was showing your picture yesterday with oh shit, what's your name? Magdalena?
Yes.
Magdalena, yeah. That's
Yep.
the woman who played.
I'm tearing up right now. That is so beautiful. That is awesome.
We are putting together a very special video about my trip to Prague. I'm probably doing a live for questions and things and sharing a bunch of the things. But you know, I'm gonna share that with you. So
Maybe we'll get super lucky, and when they introduce a certain farm,
that'll be our
Listen,
season.
We'll see you out
yeah.
Amazon isn't dumb. They're not dumb. They're smart with their
No, they
marketing.
know. They
They
know.
follow the communities. They really do. Like it's not a joke.
It's you know, listen, I may or may not have met the Tweeter of Chaos. And they're very aware of the community and what's going on. And yeah, it's they know.
Apparently, I quote unquote did at Jordan.
Yes.
I was wearing one of our Flickr shirts, and apparently I did not hear them, but they said, "I like your shirt." And in a very brief message later on, we're like, "Oh, like we talked about something else," and they were like, "Oh, by the way, how dare Andrew ignore us when we complimented his shirt?" And Josh is like, "What did you do?"
What? I know.
Son of a
It's great. And that's how you know that they understand the community, because that is the stuff that is, you know, makes all of us absolutely rabid.
It's great. They are amazing. Tweeter of Chaos, you are amazing. We appreciate you.
Yes, so much.
Wherever and whoever you are.
I'll put on my shirts more so that I can figure out who you are.
There you go. But yeah, you can find us at Dragonmount.com. Has links to all of our social media, all of our YouTube things, including links to our Patreon, where you can see some of the full unedited interviews with the cool people that we've been lucky enough to get to talk to. And so I definitely check it out. I guess. Things, please. Thank you.
Do it. Do the thing. Kathy, CEO of Dragonmount, has deemed it so, and therefore you must.
It's true. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, if you that's how I follow things, and I found that if you just do that, good things happen eventually. So then
it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And so thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for joining us. Andrew, is there anything else we need to say before we put this thing to bed?
WatCon tickets are on sale. WatCon.com. Go check it out. Show up. Come hang out. If for no other reason than Guy Flaming Roberts is going to be there. Along with all the other fantastic guests we're going to have.
Including Thom and another special Dragonmount guest that is not myself, but hopefully I'm not going to announce it because we're not 100% sure, but hopefully.
Mystery Dragonmount guest.
That's why I didn't say more names, because I think the full entourage of guests has been announced. Because everybody knows Maria's coming back, and our plans to come back, barring anything crazy. That's how all this works.
Of course, yeah.
And then Kate Redding and Michael Kramer are going to be there.
Plan to come back.
And that means that the only guest we're missing is you.
Oh, look at that.
Easy appeal to the heart.
Good.
So make sure you come out, check it out. And if you can't make it in person, we do every year do virtual memberships. They're not available now. They will be at some point in the that word that I can't say.
Sometime in the future.
Yeah, sometime in the future before WatCon actually starts. So do that. Yeah.
That's and Black Tower always records a live episode at WatCon, and it's always a fun time. Just saying.
We're 2 out of 2. And this year we're going to have a cool travel pack of equipment, so Josh doesn't have to tear down his setup again.
Nice.
So I actually got the
Nice.
bag and the
Maybe.
XLR cables in today. So
We're
gonna have fun with it.
exciting.
So thanks everyone for being here. Thanks everyone for listening. Special thanks to our dear friends at Dragonmount. You guys are the best. You guys are the awesomest. We love you so much. Thank you for being here.
I love you.
For for everybody listening, we hope you've enjoyed the show. We hope you've enjoyed everything that you've heard. We thank you for being awesome while receiving this week's dose of taint, and we hope that wherever you are, you leave here just a little bit more insane than you were when you first arrived. From all of us here at the Black Tower, I have been your Sorovan Mahale, Josh.
and what's my name? Andrew. I've been Andrew, your Bijan Mayo.
Say my name, say my name.
Yeah. You know, sometimes you just forget. You get so many names when you have more titles than actual name.
Yeah.
If you know that, spoiler warning, shout out to you. If you don't know it, watch episodes
Very
until you
little
find it.
warning.
It's a good
That's
spoiler
true.
warning. But for all of us here at the Black Tower Podcast, again, thank you all. Massive thanks to Dragonmount for coming out, because we cannot say that enough. And we hope to catch y'all all again next week for our next week's episode, which is going to be about